everybody, welcome back to the channel today. My name is Carly.
And I'm Kim.
And today we're going to be sharing our first thoughts on the upcoming title, Ada's Dream from Alley Cat Games. This is an upcoming title from Alley Cat.
Yeah.
Alley Cat. Alley Cat.
You did it perfectly the first
I
time.
did. I'm so surprised I did. So this is an upcoming title from Alley Cat Games, and they were kind enough to send over this copy for us to kind of get a little bit of a taste of what they're anticipating this game to be like. And so I wanted to kind of throw together this quick little first thoughts video, basically not really going too much, not really like explaining the game, but just kind of sharing our first thoughts after diving into this game for the very first time.
Yeah.
This game actually is kind of based a little bit on real life events.
Yeah.
So the kind of the story behind this is in the summer of 1843, I believe. Ada Lovelace. I kept wanting to say Lovegood,
Yeah.
but it's not. I kept wanting to say Luna Lovegood, but it's Ada Lovelace. She wrote to her friend Charles Barrage, I think.
It's a complicated last name.
Yeah, it
so
was like
pronounced. So
it was
not even gonna try.
Yeah, it was something. Basically asking if she could take control of his analytics machine, which he was kind of in the process of creating. And unfortunately for Ada, he kind of turned her down. And so this game is basically what would have happened if he would have said yes, right? And if she would have been able to continue her work on this analytics machine that they were creating at the time.
Think of it as like a historical fiction.
Yeah, if what would have happened.
Yes.
Kind of background. Having said that, this game isn't very theme forward. I mean, obviously there is theme in the game, but really it's kind of straight mechanics, right?
Yeah, mechanic game.
Yeah, definitely a mechanical game, which makes sense I guess that makes sense with the theme, considering it's like an analytic machine. Kind of feels like an analytical game.
But I wasn't like thinking too much of like Ada.
Yeah,
I was doing the game, like I wasn't thinking like I'm helping Ada and I'm fulfilling her dream.
Exactly.
It was like none of
You're
that.
like, I just need to do this to do this to do
like
this. To
I'm
do
like,
this.
what do I do to get my other points? Yeah. Points in this game.
So because this is a first thoughts video, we're not going to kind of dive into the mechanics. We're really just going to kind of jump into our thoughts on this game. So having said all of that, the very first time I played this game and we finished, I think I looked at Kim and I was like, my brain hurts.
Yes. Yep.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah. I don't know if I felt that as much as I think
I think it hurt my brain more.
But I think it was probably because you were like the one that was like diving into the rule book, and I just had to like listen and process what you were saying. The rule book is not finished because this is like a
definitely a prototype. Very, very, very prototype. Yeah.
But it did have like, I did feel like it was a very like thinky, it is a very thinky game.
Yes.
And actually I was thinking, it's not like this game at all, but it felt like a similar level of like things to do and to think about as Great Western Trail to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like I was thinking about like all those things that I am like thinking about when I'm trying to play, if you're familiar with Great Western Trail, and you're like, I have to move my cows along, and I have to move along the train track, and I have to like get my tiles out, and I have to make the path, and like there's just so much that you can like try to think about and consider and do, that I was thinking about that in terms of like, it feels like if I'm going to compare it to a thinkiness level and like same kind of complexity, I would compare it to Great Western Trail.
Yeah.
Not like similar in gameplay at all to Great Western Trail, like, but in terms of thinkiness and complexity, I think those are kind of on par.
Kind of coming off what you said about the rule book. The rule book that we went through, it was very prototypey.
Yes.
So everything that you see, everything that we talk about is subject to change and could change. But I agree with Kim. It definitely is a game where there is a lot going on. There's a lot of different paths and a lot of kind of ways to go about getting points or unlocking stuff or doing things. And so it's kind of, again, it kind of comes down to being the most efficient and kind of managing your turns very efficiently. Something that I absolutely adored, though, in this game was the boards and how everything that you unlocked and did came down to end game scoring. And so in this game, you'll be collecting dice, which then you add to your board. then not only are you collecting dice, but you're also collecting little like gears. So they're either pluses, minuses, or times. And where you place those dice on your board, along with those little gears, those kind of help add up to endgame points. So if you have like a 6 dice, and then you have a 4 dice, and then you have a plus in the middle, that is gonna contribute to your end game scoring. Is you'll go through and you'll score up all of your lines based on where you place your dice and those gears. And it was so much fun for me, especially when I was like placing high numbered dice. I was like, okay, I really need to try my best to get a times symbol. So because I think I actually did in my score, I was able to get like 6 times 5 plus I think it was like 3 or something. So that line really scored me a lot of points, and it was really, really fun to like try to puzzle out the way that you place your dice. But then on top of that, not only are you doing all of that, you're also gaining little these little, I forgot what these were called. Do you remember? They were like programs, yeah. You're also gaining programs that will score you some pretty big end game points, and you will be placing them on top or onto the side of rows. So not only are you doing your basic puzzle, you're also trying to fulfill your programs that you plug into your board.
I like having like the direction and that like it gives me like that extra puzzle of like, okay, so I'm not just like randomly laying dice to optimize, but I'm like, now I have this like, okay, a little bit, it had a Sagrada flavor to it.
Oh, okay, yeah, like something to work towards.
Yes, this was definitely my favorite part about the game too. I think like the most interesting thing about it was the taking the dice and like,
trying to figure out where to put them. And then with the programs, like there was sometimes I'd collect a purple dice, not realizing, oh crap, like I was gonna put it here, but I didn't realize that my program said no purple dice in this row.
So like this one says only values 3 and 4. So that's like an example of what they just have different like conditions that you're trying to
meet in order to then score
get
those points.
Those 9 points at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So that was I think that was my favorite part. Again, like in comparing them to other games that I've played, have sort of like little flavors of Trajan.
A little bit.
And at first when I saw this, I was like, is this going to be like the mandala thing? But it's not exactly. But you do have to like pick up the dice, and it has to be a higher or equal value to like the one next to it to like move it. And then it does that, and that triggers like an action or an ability that you get to do. So that was fun to me. And then also a little bit flavor of like Castles of Burgundy ish to me. And Carly, you can disagree with me, but like this is just where my mind goes in terms of like playing the cards, because when you have cards in your hand and you want to play a card, like I have to have this value of die.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
In my
because in order to play that card, you need to have that dice.
Yes. So like
to like unlock it.
Yeah. So having that number or like a value or whatever like pips.
Yeah, the pips.
Pip value is in your storage. That kind of determines like what kind of cards you play and what happens there. So like those were,
and you really kind of coming back to that, it really made the dice interesting because you were like, you really had to plan ahead in regards to, you had to look at the cards in your hand and be like, okay, I really need this ability. That means I need to somehow try to figure out a way to bump out a 3 so then on a future turn I can use that 3 to then play this card. And then not only on top of that, but then you're also using the pips once you place them onto your own personal machine.
Yes.
And you have to make sure that you're placing that works with your programming, and also you're trying to get the most points with your gears. So you're really like, it's really one that you have to be thinking ahead. And I totally forgot, but then the color of your dice, the color that you choose to place on your board, then corresponds with what area, with your actions, what area. So really, I mean, it's very much a game where you really have, those dice that you collect really mean everything. Yeah, it really comes down to the dice that you collect.
Yeah, we were playing and I was picking purple dice because I like purple, and I'm like, I like the purple dice and I'm going to do the purple action, or the purple area.
The study.
The study. Ada study. But I'm like, wait, I should probably start thinking about going to the meetings and getting more cards and like traveling up this map and doing like the science stuff over here. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should slow down on purple. But then there are bonus actions that you can do in each place too by spending a book to if you the cute little books here, boop boop,
which are so cute. I love
that
little
you
books.
can get at Ada Study because this is just for that. So but cute books. But then there are like bonus actions, and so that was something else that I was realizing that like I needed to think about, like because one of the bonus action here at the meetings is getting this purple gear, and this is the multiplier.
Which you really want the purple gears if you can
want
get them.
the multiplier because that's going to give you a lot more points than just an addition one. So there's a lot of planning.
You have
to do a lot of planning.
I really like how the end of the game, like the end game triggers based on the current rulebook that we have. The way to end the game is by having your entire board filled with dice. And so I like that because at any time I could kind of look at my own board and then also look over at Kim and be like, how kind of roughly where are we like in regards to end game?
Yes.
Because then I could be like, okay, if Kim looks like she's going to be getting close, I need to get some points right now, you know, or I'm like, okay, I think I am a little bit ahead for Kim. Let me try to push this end game really quick before she can, you know, so it kind of has, I really like games that do that where it's, I mean, sometimes it's more clear than others, but in my opinion, I felt like it was kind of clear when I knew endgame was about to happen, which I really appreciated. I really like when games do that because then it kind of keeps me in check and kind of keeps me on my toes a little bit.
I think there's definitely going to be lots of different ways to think about how you're getting points in addition to the, like what you're going to focus on in terms of this and this. Like, so you can't optimize all of them. I just don't think.
No, I don't think it's possible.
That you can. So you think about, am I going to optimize my hand and have like these cool cards that get to do cool things, or do I want to optimize here in the study, or not? This isn't the study. This is the society institutions.
Because even on this travel, like when we were traveling, I don't think we made it further than like the first 3 spaces. Like we did not nearly come out here on this board because we just simply didn't have the time to. We weren't optimizing over there.
Well, and we each only had 2 tokens.
Here.
So we were just, like, I think we were, because we were trying to get like a flavor of everything. But like if I'm thinking about in terms of like, okay, there's so much that I think could be unpacked. So like I think the replayability. Sometimes I think maybe not. Sometimes mechanics can start to feel dry after a while because you're doing like the same thing again and again. But I think that because there's so much that you can unpack here, I think that it has a big replay value. Yeah.
There's lots of different ways you can kind of dive into this game, focusing on this strategy or this strategy or this strategy. Yep, I agree. For me, the workshop was a little bit, I don't know, because I feel like there were so many puzzles going around. To have an additional puzzle of like bumping dice, I wish that, I guess I don't know how I would go about it, because I think just bumping whatever dice you want might be just way too easy. But trying to like sometimes it was so frustrating for me because I was like, I really, really, really need to move a dice onto this spot. But the options in the dice that I had, like there was no way I would be able to do it. And you can on your turn you can like pip dice up or pip them down up to a certain amount of times. But I was like, even if I did that, like it still wouldn't help me. So like there was nothing I could do, even if like I really needed that ability or I really needed like that specific color with that number. I felt like just one more thing I had to worry about on top of trying to get the right dice with all the right color and it's like if I know I need that one and I'm unable to get it, it was really frustrating for me.
I think it actually would be cool if they did kind of like take that Trajan mechanic and actually make it.
Just do like a Mancala?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start with the 3 dice in each and then you pick them up and drop them and then do it that way. I think that would
And then whatever one you land on. See, I would almost prefer that. Because I really love that in Trajan, how I love that Mancala because it was really thinky when you were placing, because you really wanted to make sure you ended in the right spot with the right colors and everything you needed. So I think something like that would almost work better here than you have to match. It would ease that mental load a little bit and it would make this puzzle here more engaging, I think, than just trying to find the matching number.
And it would be like a fun thing because this is like a shared thing. So it like
Yeah.
it would be. I mean, what you do like would affect me anyways in terms of like what picking your dice, but it could change it up a little bit more.
Overall, I am really looking forward to the finalized version of this rulebook. Like I said, I am in the talks with the company trying to get kind of answers to some of the questions that we had. I am looking forward to this game, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Kickstarter. And yeah, I just kind of want to see where it goes. I'm really interested to see if they make little changes between now and the finalized version.
Yeah.
But it was interesting for me. Like I said, my favorite part, coming back to my favorite part, I loved the puzzle behind the boards. Like you said, it kind of had that Sagrada feeling of trying to get certain goals and trying to kind of optimize your moves there. It was really, really interesting. I really, really liked your own little personal machines that you were building.
Yeah, well, and for this being like a prototype copy, like I am really excited about the components that they've come up with so far even. Oh, which that made me think of. That was
the
the
coins.
One thing
the one thing
like,
was
the coins were like
the ones were bigger than the fives, and it kept throwing us
like
off.
Opposite from every other game out there. Like usually the bigger ones are the ones
that are worth more.
Yeah, but so that was my one. Like
maybe it's more historically accurate.
I have
maybe.
no idea, but that was my other thing. But my one negative thing about what they've thought about in terms of the components so far. But otherwise, like, these books are adorable. These gears.
I love the gears and the double layer board and how they fit into the board.
They're just, like, perfect.
Yes.
Look at that.
I
That's
know.
so cute.
It's so cute.
And the way that, like, the programs fit into here, like, yeah, the double layer board is really nice. What they've designed for it. The gears, these books, the colorful dice, like it's just, and I like the color on the board.
Yes, I love how it's like designated in colors. And yeah.
So like I think it looks like, I feel like it has a nice table presence for what they've come up with so far. Yeah,
I'm really, really excited and looking forward to what the finalized version and kind of like what like the Kickstarter or crowdfunding thing is going to be for this game. All right, so those were our first thoughts on Ada's Dream from Alley Cat Games. Huge shout out to Alley Cat Games for sending us this copy to kind of do a quick little first thoughts video for you today on. If you are interested in this game, please let us know why in the comments below. But until next time, we hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later.